Hello students and welcome to the lecture on Introduction to Genetic Algorithms. The 10th lecture in the lecture series for the course of Introduction to Soft Computing for the Electronics and Telecommunication Engineering students of the 7th semester, Goa College of Engineering. I am Ms. Purti Savardekar, the faculty in charge for this course. We talked a lot about the concept of genetic algorithms when we discussed its biological counterpart. When we compare the biological systems with the systems of the genetic algorithm, or as we say simple genetic algorithm, we find that many of the concepts are the same. The genetic algorithm starts with a set of solutions or populations. Each individual in the population set represents a solution to the problem. The nature of the solution, however, varies. Some solutions may be very good, while some solutions might be bad or very bad. The goodness of the solution varies from individual to individual within the population. To measure the goodness of the solution, we use a function called the fitness function, which must be actually made according to the logic. Initially, the population set contains all randomly generated solutions that are initially generated. This is called the first generation of the population. Then the various genetic operators are applied over the population. The genetic operators help in the generation of new population set from the old population set. The new population set is formed by the genetic reproduction of the parents to form the children. Various other genetic operators are also applied that help in generating the new population set. So, in this manner, we generate higher order generations from the lower order. The fitness of any solution or individual may be measured with the help of fitness function. A higher value of the fitness function means a better solution. The fitness of the entire population is measured by the average fitness of the individuals that make up the population. It is observed that fitness keeps increasing as we move forward with the algorithm. The higher order generations are more fit when compared to the lower order generations. This is true for all best fitness individuals in the population, average fitness individuals in the population, as well as the worst fitness in the population. The genetic algorithm GA results in improvisation as the generation proceeds. This improvisation is very rapid in the first few generations. After that, however, the algorithm more or less converges to some point to give the most optimal solution to the problem. The basic algorithm follows an iterative approach and continues to generate newer generations. For the most part, the solution keeps improving with time until it finally converges, or the improvement in the solution is very unnoticeable, small. There must be a stopping criterion at which the loop terminates. The iterative nature of this algorithm is very important, especially with respect to soft computing. We know that the search space is infinite and cannot be explored to generate solutions. The time that will be required is infinite. The beauty of this algorithm is that it finds the best point in this infinite search space as early as possible. The amount of search space traversed in the algorithm's runtime may be a very minute proportion of the total search space. The iterative approach is thus a very useful tool. The GA is applied to the optimization problems, in which we are required to optimize an objective function by varying some variables or parameters. The real life problem first must be converted to this optimization problem before the GA, the genetic algorithm, is applied over it. Whenever we talk of problem, Now we are referring to this optimization problem. Solution is an individual in the population set that represents a set of parameters or variables of the problems which are to be optimized. The solution may be a good solution or a bad solution depending on the fitness which is measured by the fitness function. Consider the problem of functional optimization, in which we are given a set of input variables. We have an objective function that we must optimize, which is the goal of the problem. And in addition, we have a set of constraints that every solution must follow. An example of this problem is here. In this problem, a solution may be represented by two variables, one corresponding to the value of A and the other corresponding to the value of B. The general form of any solution may be taken as, say, A comma B. Now the function is maximize A multiplied by B. We have to perform or optimize this function A multiplied by B. The constraints are that A and B should lie in between 0 and 5. A and B can take up 6 values starting from 0 to 5. And the second constraint is the sum of A plus B should always be greater than 5. The sum of A plus B should always be greater than 5. Now the solution may be feasible or infeasible. Infeasible solutions usually disobey some constraint of the problem, and that's why they are not valid solutions. Infeasible solutions cannot be returned as the final solution by the genetic algorithm, and these are usually not accepted in the solutions at all. Thus, whenever these solutions try to enter the population set, they are rejected. We rather repair them to make them feasible and then allow them to enter the population set. Another possibility for dealing with infeasible solutions is to assign them a very low fitness value. So according to the survival of the fittest, then it may be assumed that they would then die out with the passage of time. In this problem, the solution, say 2, 10 is infeasible because it does not obey the constraint which is A and B should lie in between 0 and 5. So far, we have represented the solution in a very easy to understand format. This type of a solution that we have considered now is known as the phenotype solution. We can observe it, the phenotype solution. This may be used for computation of fitness, or other comparisons and operations. The genetic algorithm, however, requires a different representation of the solution. And in this case, it is called the genotype solution to perform a function. The genotype solution is usually a sequence of bits or numbers. Each bit may be either a 0 or a 1. The whole solution is represented in such a way that we may represent it in the form of continuous bits. The entire bit sequence is the solution. The entire bit sequence is the solution in the genotype form. In our example, we represented a solution in the form A, B, where A and B can take any values between 0 and 5. Now, to represent A, we require minimum 3 bits because 2 raised to 2 is 4 combinations, only 4 possible values. But if you take 2 raised to 3, it is 8, and there are 8 possible combinations. And we can have 8 possible values. Here we have 6. 6 is less than 8, but 6 is greater than 4. So we better take 2 raised to 3, so 3 bits. So to represent A, we require a minimum of 3 bits. Similarly, to represent B, we require a minimum of 3 bits. The entire solution, therefore, will be represented as a sequence of 6 bits, with first 3 bits denoting an A and the next 3 bits denoting a B. So the solution 2, 3 will then be represented as 0, 1, 0 for A and 0, 1, 1 for B. 0, 1, 0 is 2 and 0, 1, 1 is 3. So 2, 3 is represented as 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, a sequence of 6 bits. In general, for any problem that we need to optimize with the help of GA, we must first represent it in the form of a solution. So once this is done, we can apply various genetic operators to optimize and then find the most optimal solution. Hence, one of the major design and implementation issues is a good solution design that deals with the manner in which we convert the solutions to a sequence of bits or numbers. Now let us come to initial population. The initial population. One of the first steps in the algorithm is to generate the initial population or the starting population, which ultimately then leads to the next generation, the newer and newer generations. Mostly the initial population is generated randomly. We know the total length of the solution's genotype representation. The standard practice is to generate random series of zeros and ones to fill this length, to fill this solution. This generates highly random solutions. And because of this random nature, all kinds of solutions are generated. Some with high fitness value and some with poor fitness value. Now imagine, you are asked to hunt in some area for treasure. A treasure that has been hidden by some prehistoric people. Now you may take one of two options to find the treasure. The first option is to delegate a large number of people. This step is important because you need a large number of people to go to the diverse area of the region where the treasure may lie. A large number of people will be able to cover a very large area at once, therefore maximizing the search operation. But we also know that hunting for such treasure requires a lot of cooperation and coordination. Hints, clues, and findings need to be shared among all the people who are searching. This information helps guide each person hunting for the treasure to think of likely places where the treasure lies and then to hunt at that location. This is where a very large number of people creates a problem. A great deal of time will be wasted in communicating among the hunters. They may not be able to guide each other effectively. For this reason, you may often wish to go with the second option. This is to use a smaller but well coordinated group. Do you remember the notion of search space, which we had studied before? The problem is to search for a point in this highly dimensional graph of infinite possibilities. The various individuals are the agents who try to find the global minima. Agents are the hunters and the global minima is the treasure. The hints are in the form of the fitness values of the individuals. Say the fitness value where an individual is delegated is very poor. Obviously, this means that it is not a good area in which to search. In our analogy, it is like as if some hunter has said that, this area is bad. Don't stop here. Don't come here. The coordination is in the form of interactions among the individuals and the global planning that we see later. Based on this analogy, we must try to analyze the role and importance of individuals and population size. The number of individuals in the population or the population size should always be specified. A very high value will result in a lot of computation in generating one population to the next. But it would give a lot of scope to the individuals to generate all kinds of diverse solutions. This may even result in early convergence or the generation of very good solutions very early. But this number, if it is kept very low, the generations would take much less time in calculating. However, it would not be able to support high diversity. The initial solution does not play a very important role in GA's solution generation as long as the initial population contains individuals of all kinds. Each bit in some way represents some characteristic of the solution. These characteristics may be either good or bad. Good characteristics make the fitness value of the solution high, very high. and vice versa. The bad characteristics make the fitness value low. The entire working of GA tries to generate different combinations of these characteristics. If some characteristics that may be very good for the solution are completely missing from the population, optimization will suffer. Therefore, having all kinds of solutions in the initial population is very, very, very important for a genetic algorithm to work effectively. This idea actually can be understood by looking at our analogy of the treasure hunt. The various hunters must collectively cover the entire search space as much as possible to ensure that no part of the area goes unnoticed. Every attempt or possibility of hunt should be exploited. A very serious problem will occur if a large area does not have a hunter in the vicinity. It might be possible that this was the place that the treasure or the global minima was present. Thus, individual characteristics are analogous to the area or region in the space where search operation is happening. I hope that the content that was covered in this video was sufficient to introduce you to the concept of genetic algorithm. We will continue studying this in the upcoming lectures. Let us continue this discussion now in the Google Meet. See you there. Thank you.